Gritty, nice to see you. How you doing?
Oh, it's been good, but the Flyers still suck.
Yep, that's how you got. That's how you got to introduce this show.
Holy shit, that's funny. Okay, I'm already recording. I'm going to use that. There's no doubt about it. Okay, are you guys ready? Because we got to get going. All right, Shoots and Scores Hockey Talk, where we talk everything hockey. I am John.
I'm Mike.
I'm Chris.
All right, guys, let's go. Great gritty intro there. So our first topic for tonight is, I wanted to cover this first because it kind of, I was kind of like, really? So the NHL fined the Tampa Bay Lightning and coach John Cooper for their actions in Saturday's fight-filled free-for-all against the Florida Panthers of all teams. Tampa was fined $100,000 and Cooper was fined $25,000. Now the question I have for you guys is, so what in the hell is happening, guys? Is fighting coming back into the NHL? Is that what's going on here? Like, this was crazy, the amount of penalties that was going on that night. I've never heard tell of a team fined $100,000. Has that happened before? Mike, what do you think of all this?
Well, I didn't see any of the game, but no, to answer your question, I don't think fighting is coming back really in any significant way whatsoever, other than what we've seen last year and
But Mike, look at the fines. I mean, come on, look at this game.
It's preseason. It's guys trying to make a name for themselves. For some of them, no, that's a one-off thing. I don't think you're going to see that anymore. However, I mean, once Florida and Tampa play the first game of the year, there might be a little bit of fireworks over it. But aside from that, yeah, that's preseason. So don't read too much into it, I would say.
It's one hell of a fine, though, and $25,000 for Cooper.
I agree. A little surprising that they would, come down that hard on over a preseason game. But I guess they want to say, you know what, this is what's going to happen if you guys want to do this sort of stuff. So better not happen again.
Wow, Chris, come on, tell me that I'm right. Fighting's coming back into the league. There's going to be brawls every night.
No,
goons are going to be taking up the bench space.
It's just like the Four Nations. You know, it was a one thing, but the fines and stuff, I think, is because it was Hagel getting involved. Right? Remember the playoffs? What occurred there? So this was some continuation from what happened in the playoff games in Hagel. But over the years, I've always found Tampa's got a bunch of dummy players, and John Cooper, I think, kind of supports that type of mentality with his players. I always find they're a little cheapish, so I'm not surprised. But I think that's going to just be Florida and Tampa hatred, and it'll probably go through the regular season too, right? Because both teams have fourth liners that are willing to do that kind of stuff. But no, the rest of the league, there are not too many enforcers out there, so fighting is not coming back at that type of level.
I thought maybe Chris Nyland and Dave Semenko might be coming back and sitting their butts on the bench again. That's what I was kind of thinking.
Well, no? his name is Matt Remke, whatever his name is. That's him. That's him.
Okay, all right. Well, so for anybody that's listening to us that wanted fighting because of this game, they thought, oh, wow, it's coming back. That's not happening. All right. Okay, all right. Well, we're going to go on to our second topic. This is probably the shocker of the year. And I was going to put it first, but I had already come up with the fighting one first, so I did move this one to second. And that, of course, is Connor McDavid. Now, he signed, as everybody out there I'm sure knows, a 2-year contract extension for $25 million, which is exactly what he was making. He got no raise at all out of this. What in the heck is going on here, guys? I am guessing that perhaps the union isn't very happy about this. I'm sure that some of the GMs are happy about it. We all thought, because we all said here last week, Kaprizov in a $17 million a year, he'd be wiped out quickly once McDavid signed. Man, were we ever wrong? We were dead wrong. Mike, what gives?
Well, he's given the Oilers a 3-year window to say, you got me cheap to build this team. And I think once those 3 years are up, though, I think if we don't see a Stanley Cup in Edmonton, I think he's going to be looking for the payday at that point. But, I do think he wants to stay in Edmonton, but this is kind of, you know what, I'm giving you guys a deal. Fill this team out with some guys that can help the team win. and go from there. But yeah, very surprising that he actually, did sign it. But it explains the short term. Um, with that being said, it's going to keep, I guess, all the other salaries kind of in line. Kyle Connor signed today for 12 or 13 million dollars a year, whatever it was.
Right.
And there was someone else that just recently signed to a long-term contract. So it's giving me a blank right now. But
Eichel.
Yes,
Eichel.
Jack
Jack
Eichel.
Eichel, yeah, he signed today. I think he got 13 million or something, and Connor got 12. So I think that's kind of going to be the benchmark here for salaries for a little bit, but until somebody decides that they want to be the next Kaprizov and play a little hard line, then we'll see.
Chris, what do you think about all this? Is this were you shocked? Were you shocked? Because I was.
When the tweet came out and it was 2 for 25, yes. Yes, that was quite surprising. But I think overall, when you sit back and analyze, what McDavid's thinking, what the Oilers are thinking, it's pretty clear this is an exit strategy that's in place. But he also left every door open, right? I don't know if they do win the cup the next year or two. That means he's staying. He could still have that landing place afterwards, right? I think he might be giving them
Right.
3 years, and then he's going to go get paid and go play somewhere else where he probably wants to play. But it's good for the Oilers because if something doesn't work out in the next 2 years, his contract is very tradable, and they can recruit all kinds of assets to continue to be competitive. So he's done very good for the Edmonton Oilers. That's probably why the Oilers said yes right away. They
Yeah, I
wanted more
bet.
years for sure. They wanted more years, and they're probably willing to pay 20. It didn't matter. But I think they realized, okay, we got him for 2. We got him for cheap. We can get more assets in to try to win a cup. But I don't know winning a cup is going to keep him there. I feel like he's ready to move on, and then he's probably going to break the cap.
Well, I mean, we were talking about this last week. None of us expected this. In fact, I never saw any hockey analyst. I never read any article that even suggested this. And I went, I scour quite a bit of stuff when we do this show. I never saw anybody suggest this. Maybe there's someone out there that did.
Not
I
that
sure
I
as hell
saw.
didn't see it.
Nope. No.
No one on TSN said anything about this happening. I never saw it. So I've got a part B to this, guys. And Mike, I'm just gonna ask you, do you think this is the bargain of the century in the NHL?
I think Crosby continuing to sign for 8.7 million is the bargain of the century.
Yep.
Okay, yeah.
So this probably be number 2, but Crosby at 8.7 is as cheap as they're going to get for a superstar player.
Right. That's right.
Yeah, and
He's
Crosby started getting paid 8.7 in 2008. So back then it was 13%. It was kind of pricey, but as the years have gone by, steal of a deal.
it's a bargain. It's a bargain. Too bad him and McDavid couldn't be on the same team together for a year. Be one hell of a
We got to
show.
wait for Team Canada for that to happen.
Yeah, that's true. All right. Okay, well, let's go on to the third topic, and that is and I'm going back to my favorite because we brought this up a few times last year. Craig Button and the TSN team went over the 7 Canadian teams and how 5 made the playoffs last year. That's fine. Button thinks all 5 will make the playoffs again this year, plus Vancouver. He seems to think Vancouver has a shot. Mike Johnson, he believes all 5 Canadian teams will be in again, but he doesn't believe Vancouver has really that big of a shot. We talked about how TSN staff pretty much want to stick to how last year finished, and that's what they think this year is going to be. I want to know, is Craig Button and the team wrong this time, or is this how things will probably play out? Mike, what do you think? I like picking on Craig Button, so I'm picking on him again here.
Well, I mean, as far as the East, like we had talked last week, we think we were both, I think, all in agreement that we think the Rangers are going to be better and that they'll knock Montreal out. If they keep playing like they did last night, though, that's not going to happen because they were not good. Now, with that being said, over in the West with Vancouver, potentially getting in, I mean, Thatcher Demko would have to have a completely healthy season and stand on his head, I think, for them to get in because, Utah looks better this year. Um, St. Louis, Minnesota, they didn't get any worse. So who are they going to knock out? Maybe LA. But if LA gets knocked out, then I think Utah gets that spot because they didn't make it last year. So, I really don't see Vancouver getting in. With that being said, their percentages aren't zero, but they would need Demko to stand on his head, Pedersen to get back to form. I don't know if they can do it or not, but I don't know if they have the depth. So, but we'll see. I mean, the analysts there, they generally every year they kind of stick to the status quo, but
Yep.
I don't know. I see maybe one team slipping out in each conference and another team getting in. So,
Okay. All right. Chris, what do you say?
Yeah. Two things to really, to think about the whole five teams, 17, all 17 making it. Didn't Calgary tie with somebody, but didn't make it in because of conference record or something? I thought they were tied with the last wild
might have
card
been with
team.
St. Louis or
Yeah.
Minnesota. Those were
Yeah,
the
so that which is surprising because in my mind, Calgary has no chance, and I realized, well, geez, they actually have the same number of points.
Well, they
Yeah.
played well for what, 85% of the year and then tailed off at the end, or 90% of the year, whatever it was.
well.
Yeah.
Once they traded for Frost and Farabee, it all seemed to go downhill for them. This
So
flyer
what you're
camera was
saying,
not in the dressing room.
is every team should trade for Frost, right? And then they'll just do
Yeah,
better. That's how it is.
Oh, 100%. But yeah,
every team.
Calgary is right there, and then Vancouver with all the drama and everything that happened and the injuries of Demko. I think they still got 90 points, so they only missed the playoffs by 5 points.
Yeah.
So I can see why some people are thinking that, yeah, all the Canadian teams have a shot at making the playoffs, and I agree, but it's hard to see too many teams falling down. Other than my Capitals, they're going to fall down
Whoa,
somewhat.
whoa, 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 whoa. Do we have
Um,
to go back over this again? Do we have to do another time out here?
again, last year, did anybody say that the Winnipeg Jets were going to be the best team point wise, and Washington was going to be one in the East? No, right? And that's the thing. And
If you
I
want
think
me
every
to,
year there's always going to be one or two surprises.
yes,
Um,
well, I agree with that. I've been going on about that now for the 3 years that we've been doing the show, how there's
yeah, there's
surprises that
always
people
some
don't see
changes.
coming.
And
Yeah.
Montreal made the playoffs. They had a terrific final stretch after the
After
Four
the All-Star
Nations,
game.
right? So it's
Or
like
four, yeah, that's right.
we'll find out in the next first few months here. Is Montreal that team, or is Montreal and the young players going to regress a little bit? Because if it regress a little bit, then no, they're definitely not making the playoffs, right? But
Well,
no,
everything under the sun went right for Montreal in the second half of the season.
yeah, yeah,
Everything.
they got great goaltending, but I think someone mentioned they give the most quality 5-on-5 in the slot shots. That's not a good thing to be, right? That's when a
Yeah.
goalie is standing on his head and saving you. So. But
And
yeah, I
another
guess all
thing,
7 teams have a shot. Even though I suspect I can't. I'm surprised by Calgary. I know Dustin Wolf was really excellent. Again, if you get good goaltending, you can compete. You have a chance. But
Can Dustin Wolf be as good again this year? What do you guys think?
we're going to find out. They're paying him.
he
They're
should
treating
be.
him that way.
Another thing, keeping in mind with teams that missed the playoffs or were eliminated quick. Calgary, LA, Toronto. They all traded to get some flyers at the deadline. So, Scott Lawton, sorry, Whitey. He's not good.
Well, I know that.
Calgary traded for Frost and Farabee. So, the Flyers were spreading the love around.
Mm-hmm.
Oh man, I feel for the Flyers. I really do. I never thought I would say that, but I do.
Yeah.
The team looks bad. I'm sorry, the team looks bad. So, anyway, all right. Well, if you guys have anything else more to say about that, we'll go on to the fourth topic, which kind of leads in from the third topic a little bit. The Stanley Cup. So, which Canadian team would have the best shot at winning the cup this year? I know. Most would say Edmonton. Yeah, okay, fine. They have 2 finals in a row and they got zip. Can we really say that Edmonton's going to win again this year? They got the same damn goalies, basically. But can Lightning really strike 3 times in a row? I'm saying no. Do the Leafs have a shot? How about the Senators? What about Winnipeg? I mean, they had the best record in the league last year. What do you guys think? Mike, go down the list. What do you think?
Well, for the Canadian teams, number one for me, it's got to be Edmonton. They didn't lose any of their key pieces. I mean, yeah, they've got to improve their goaltending. So, but they should be as good as they were last year. I don't think they're going to be much better, but they're going to get in, and who. It's all McDavid and Draisaitl, how far they can carry them. Number 2, probably it's close between Toronto and Winnipeg, I would think. Question marks for Toronto is how much they're going to miss Marner, and is the goaltending for real? Is the other question. So Winnipeg didn't, they lost Ehlers, so
Yep.
that's going to hurt them a little bit.
Yep.
But I'd say those are probably your top 3. After that, I mean, I don't think any of the other teams have a chance at the Stanley Cup at all. So,
Chris, do you think anything different over what Mike said? Are you going to slap him around and say, "Listen, this is how it is, buddy"?
Edmonton would be, I guess, the number 1 choice, but let's not forget I personally picked every team to beat Edmonton in every round of the playoffs, and it didn't happen.
yeah.
Right? And in the finals, I picked them just for vibes, even though I knew they should lose. So,
well, you said you would if that happened. You said you would, and you did.
Yeah,
so,
and I did, because the West is so tough. It's a gauntlet, and can Edmonton go through that gauntlet again?
Well, that's what I say. How the hell are they going to do that 3 times in a row? There's so many good teams there in the West.
Yeah.
We're talking about Vegas here. Well, we were talking about Jack Eichel off screen and how he signed, and you mentioned him. But I mean, that Vegas team's a good damn team. You can't tell me that Vegas team is not a good team. And Dallas, I mean, you can't just run over Dallas and say that they have no shot.
Yeah,
Lord.
It's that's why even Winnipeg is going to regress, losing Ehlers. They already have Sandberg is hurt, and again they have to go through the same gauntlet. So to me, the best chance is probably a team in the East. I think Marner. I know Leaf fans for some reason hate Marner, but he did so much for that team.
Listen, I'm a Leafs fan.
For that team, he penalty killed for that. He did so much more than Matthews. He was the best player on that team.
He's the best player on the team. I've said it for years, and people argue with me.
There's got to be a drop off, right? There's got to be a little bit of drop off there. I am concerned. I did see or heard today Leafs are the heaviest team in the league, and people are like, does that mean they're going to be slow? I know the Kings looked pretty slow last night against Colorado. So, you know what? The team with the best chance, it could be, if they take another step, is the Ottawa Senators. They might be the team in Canada that might have the best chance of moving on.
Well,
it's still very, very small. I've never picked them to make the Stanley Cup Finals, but they could be the team that has the best road or best opportunity.
The reason why I put the Ottawa Senators when I was listening to the teams is because I was wondering if they would have the best chance at improving overall.
Yeah.
Like you said. Are they going to get to the Stanley Cup Finals? I don't know, but I think they have a chance.
It comes down to goaltending. It comes down to goaltending, right? And Ullmark has looked like a stud in regular season, but in the playoffs, not the same, right? So if he can find that the Bobrovsky type of level of goaltending in the playoffs, well, then that makes Ottawa a threat.
I think Mike's rolling his eyes at us. Do you have anything to say about that, Mike?
Oh, no. I was looking at the TV. I wasn't rolling my eyes at you.
People roll your eyes on me.
Yeah. Stop doing that. I have to beat you up. Gritty part 2.
And Montreal, I don't know. I guess we have to find out if Montreal's ready to take that step, or will this be it's like a sophomore slump for some of the guys.
Hudson, everything he touched in the second half of the season for Hudson was gold. He
Yeah,
could have touched copper and it would have turned into
Suzuki
gold.
also, right? Suzuki really played at another level, right? I always look at Suzuki as a great second line center. I just didn't see him as a first line center in
Yeah.
the
He's
second half of the
definitely
season.
he's definitely a first line center. I think you can
Yeah,
say that now.
I think he's
I don't
proven
think
that. If he can do it again this year, then yes. I think everyone could say he's a first line center.
All right. Okay. So let's go on to our favorite segment, the Hockey Profit segment, where I say that you too are the Hockey Profits, and it's my show, so whatever I say goes. We're going to put some time up on the clock, and guys, Chris, Mike, are you ready for the Hockey Profit segment?
Yep. Let's
Okay.
go.
Number one, Chris, you're going to love this. According to FanDuel, the Carolina Hurricanes are projected to get 106.5 points this year. Do you take the over or the under?
I think they got 99 last year, and every year before that was like 100 and something. 106.5?
106.5 is the FanDuel number.
I'm going to say over.
Oh, wow. Jeez. Woo. Smoking. All right. Number two, Mike. Are the Boston Bruins going to be any better this year at all? Do they have any shot at making the playoffs?
I think they'll be marginally better, but I don't think they have a chance of making the playoffs. I think Swayman's got to be better than what he was last year. And if Charlie McAvoy can stay healthy, he's going to make a difference as well. He missed a lot of time last year. So, getting those two guys back, if Geeky can continue to be the player that he showed throughout the season last year, I mean, that'll definitely be helpful. But it's basically the Pasternak show there. That's not going to be enough to get them in the playoffs.
Okay. Number three, Chris. Last year, the Canes finished with the 25th best power play in the league. What ranking will they have at the end of this year?
Hopefully, Ellers can help that power play. So let's go for 12th.
12th best? So they're going to be up. They're going to move up a lot, according to you. Okay. All right.
They were in the top 10 for the first 2 months, and then
they just fell apart.
They just fell apart again. And
I was looking at the numbers. I saw it.
Yeah.
Number four, Mike, the hockey news. Here we go back to the hockey news again. Says Nikita Gusev is playing on the top line, and Tocchet likes the way he protects the puck. Mike, how long is Nikita going to be on the top line?
Nikita Grabenkin?
Or Grabenkin, sorry.
Oh, I really like Grabenkin. I think he's, a bit of a character. The fans seem to like him. He's a gritty player. Gritty. And as far as being on the top line, I think he's more of a third line guy. But early in the year, they might give him some looks there just to see if he's got some chemistry with these guys. But I like Grabenkin. I think he was a good pickup for them to get. I think he'll be better than the guy they traded to get him. Which is Scott Lawton. So
he's a Leaf prospect.
Yeah. So
of course,
I like him. I don't think he's going to stick there for long, but I mean, they might give him a look. I mean, I can see why Tocchet likes him. He's a Rick Tocchet type of player.
Right.
He'll crash and bang and do the dirty work, and he seems to be a really fun-loving guy. If you've ever seen any of his interviews and stuff, so
right, yes,
but yeah, I like him. But top line, here and there maybe, but not permanent.
All right, okay, Chris, number five. How much is Carolina going to miss Brett Burns this year?
Well, I think
you were putting him down. You were putting him down last year.
Exactly. I don't have short-term or long-term memory issues. No, Brett Burns his game definitely slipped last year. Right, Father Time always wins. But in the playoffs, he was really good again. Right, he looked like the old Brett Burns again.
He was very good in the playoffs.
But they brought in Keandre Miller. They've got Nikishkin, so they should be okay and maybe even better. But I love Brett Burns for the first couple of years in the playoffs last year. He was awesome, especially against Florida, right? None of those goals were on Burns, right? he did his job. So yeah, and in the thing in the dressing room, everyone loved the guy in Carolina, the fans and stuff. But I'm sure we'll be fine going forward, and I hope he does well in Colorado.
All right, number 6, Mike, and this is the final one. Yahoo Sports says the Flyers badly need upgrades at defense. On a scale of 1 to 10, on a scale of 1 to 10, 1 being the lowest,
That's it.
Mike,
Just defense.
what ranking would you give the Flyers defense core right now?
In comparison with the rest of the league, I would give them a 1. They're terrible. Terrible. They can't. Oh,
Shout out to Cam York. Cam York, baby.
Well, you know what? That's the good news is Cam York's on injured reserve to start the year. So
no.
Yeah. So yeah.
Did he cut his finger at home again?
Hurt feelings. It's got to be hurt feelings.
Other than Sanheim and Ristolainen are,
it's bad if you think Ristolainen's a good defenseman. That's bad.
I'm not saying Ristolainen's good, but on the Flyers, he's one of their best ones, which is sad to say because on any other team, he's probably a number 5 or number 6. On the Flyers, he's top 2 with Sanheim. Drysdale doesn't know how to play defense.
He doesn't need to. Just has to get power play points. That's all he needs to do.
You know what? The way they're going to give up shorthanded goals with him out there, I can't see them having him on the power play for too long. So I think at the end of the day, I mean, yeah, they're going to give him the opportunities, but we could have last year drafted a great defenseman.
Oh, who's that?
Zeev Bouillon. But the Flyers brain trust thought that trading that pick 1 spot to Minnesota for their pick and another draft pick was a better idea. So they took Jet Luchenko, who's a forward, who can't play defense, the position. I'm not saying he can't play defensively. We could have greatly benefited from picking Bouillon, who's going to be one of the top rookies this year with Minnesota, running their power play. How do we just consistently
trust in Keith Jones?
Yep.
Trust in Keith Jones. You heard him on the TV for years. You know how he thinks. Trust Keith Jones.
The only way the Flyers can't mess up a draft is if they're given a cream puff right down the middle of the plate, like Mitchkov. You can't miss. You can't miss on that.
Montreal missed it, and they hit it.
Well, that's the only one that the Flyers haven't missed on. Other than that, I mean, this year they got Martone, which I think is going to be a good one. However, this team has been so desperate for a good defenseman since Mark Howe was playing in the 80s. We had Desjardins, Pronger. Yeah, they were good too. Just kind of making a joke there. But we had to trade to get these guys. We traded to get Mark Howe as well. So when's the last time the Flyers have drafted a top-tier defenseman?
It's probably been a long time.
Yeah. We need Benji to call in. He'll tell us. Benji will tell us.
Benji would tell us. That's right.
Yeah, it's been. I can't.
Benji, make sure you put a comment there when you watch us on YouTube. But place a comment on last time the Flyers drafted a good defenseman.
Yeah, top tier. They've drafted some good defensemen. I'm saying top tier, like guys that are for sure number ones.
Mm-hmm.
They don't. They have to trade to get these guys, and when you have no trade assets to get these guys, you got to draft them. And if you trade the draft picks that you could use to get them, well, you're just screwing yourselves. So,
well, Mike, why don't you tell us how you really feel?
Yes,
that's another episode. That's another
episode.
Very
frustrating to be a Flyers fan. We'll leave it at that.
So, guys, before we go here this evening, is there anything else that either one of you wanted to add to our discussion here?
No, I think we covered pretty much all the recent news that has popped up. So,
all right. Well, I like doing the Hockey Profit segment because it allows me to go into some other questions quickly that we didn't get a chance to cover with the main questions. So I like it, and I tried to stick with the Philly and Carolina stuff as much as possible.
I see that.
Yeah.
Well, there was a lot of news out there.
Loaded questions to get my blood pressure going.
Yeah, and don't forget, Don't forget, Mike likes the Habs too, so you can give him those Hab questions.
Oh yeah, that's right. That's right.
He watches
Yes,
a lot of Hab hockey.
He does. He does.
No, I don't.
Maybe Gritty will go to Montreal.
No.
Maybe that's what'll happen. Maybe he'll have a twin in Montreal. It'll be Gritty 2 or Gribby or something.
No,
Maybe they'll call him Gribby.
Youppi looks similar, so.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah. All right, guys. We'll leave it there for tonight. Like, share, and subscribe, and we will see you next week. Later.
Later.